Good morning, everyone. I'm just greeting you a good morning, but I don't know what time in your end. Probably when you wake up, it's morning to you. Here in Australia, the time is 1:53 in the afternoon. Today is Saturday, February 25. Now, the reason why time to time I update my YouTube channel and on my Facebook, every time I have interviewed the buyer or screen the buyer, I always put that on my platform so that everyone can listen to my explanation to the buyer. Last week I have a conversation with a big appetite buyer, and he was been searching gold many months, and he was been talking to 25 people. Out of 25 people, this big appetite buyer from Dubai was not convinced because some of the joker broker doesn't even explain to this big appetite. So what happened? He bumped into my YouTube channel. I congratulated this buyer, and he asked me, "Well, Amina, do you think your seller Mali, Conakry, and Sierra Leone can supply my needs?" And I said to him, "In what way?" "I need 40 tons a month. For 12 months, 100 tons." And I told this buyer from Dubai, one seller cannot cater 40 tons because the seller have an existing customer. So after my conversation with this big appetite buyer, I contacted all of my sellers. Hey, we have a buyer now, 2023, and this buyer found my platform. Tell me, can you cater 40 tons? This is Mali because buyer want to go to Mali on May. And my seller said, one seller number one, he said, "Madam, we have 18 tons at the moment." Seller number two, he has 10 tons. Seller number three, he has 7 tons. Seller number four, he has 6 tons. So seller in in Conakry, seller number one have 1.5 tons. Seller number two, 1.5 tons. Seller number three, 2 tons. In total of 5 tons in Conakry. In Sierra Leone, seller number two have 2 tons. Seller number one, 1.5 tons. Seller number two, 2 tons. In total of 4.5 tons. Now you're gonna say, "Oh, well, Amina, are you really sure?" I said, "Yes, because I already spoken to my different seller. And I've been to Sierra Leone. I know Sierra Leone have tons of gold, but Sierra Leone would not tell you guys that they have tons of gold because the seller wouldn't believe it that you can afford it. I just been to Sierra Leone and Conakry and Mali. I can vouch you, but how are you able to pay? That is the question. Because this African seller, he would not deal C.I.F. He would not deal cost insurance and freight only. He wouldn't. You have to pay the products plus logistic cost plus insurance. You have to pay the product. That's normal. You have to pay the product plus government sales tax. That is normal. Here in Australia, our government sales tax GST plus 10%. That is normal. That is an income of the country. Now, he asked me, "Well, Amina, do you have drinks?" Your seller, it's not my job to do the research, but this big appetite, I said, "Okay, I will find out if Mali have drinks." There is no drinks in Mali. There is MS. This buyer from Dubai, I said to him, "Contact the MS in Dubai. They have branch in Mali because I done my research. I found out that ms.com, they have branch in Mali." In Conakry, they have drinks subsidized. It is called a franchisee. So they have MS as well. From Dubai to Conakry, one stop. From Dubai to Mali, 2 stop. From Dubai to Sierra Leone, 2 stop. So there's a connecting flight. So in Conakry, you have 5 tons, 3 sellers. But this gold would not last because this seller have their existing customer. Why they have tons gold of Mali? Mali is the second largest gold producer in West Africa. I think if you go on my platform on my Facebook, in Mali, there are 4 Australian mining company positioning themselves because Australia cannot even cater. Australia has a mining, but you cannot buy gold in Australia because once it's produced from the mines, the bank needs that gold. The miner, the company, they refine it in Western Australia. They have a refinery called Mint Refinery. There's also refinery here in Brisbane and in Sydney and in Melbourne. That is not my job. I'm just sharing you a little bit of background. Now in Mali, as I've said to you, there are 4 Australian mining company, but I'm not going to give you because you cannot buy the gold from them. They will not sell gold because that gold is already pre-sold. Now Chinese company is in Mali, French company is in Mali, Canadian, Russian, American, Italian group of company. Why they go there? Why they go there? Because the government give this big company tax incentive in order to invest into that country. Right. So don't ask me about this company because that is not my job. My job is here. My seller said, well, Amina, here is the production ready to export. That is my job. So I'm just sharing you a little bit of this Mali. Now, this buyer, big appetite, he wanted to go to Mali because he knows that Mali has tons of gold. And he said to me, well, Amina, which refinery that I'm going to assay the gold? And I told him, well, that's a good news because DNGM and Kankamusa is now partner. So if you go on my Facebook platform, DNGM is a government refinery. Kankamusa is a private refinery. It's a big refinery. It's 500 meters away from the international airport. Right. So when I do the research about Kankamusa, right, I read the articles that Kankamusa and DNGM are now amalgamated. So you can use Kankamusa to taste the gold first, right? You cannot just take the gold out of the country without tasting the gold. You have 2 choices, DNGM and Kankamusa. Now, may I give you a brief background of Mali? There are 4 refineries in Mali. Unicorn Gold Refinery is a private. Marina is a private. Kankamusa is a private. DNGM is the government. Before these 3 refinery came in 2015, DNGM is already exist. Before Mali exported the gold outside Mali, they have to assay the gold to DNGM. So I read the write-up. I done my research because when I sell, I need to know ins and out. I need to know the product knowledge and I need to know the country. So I'm sharing you guys so that you would be aware. Now, if you're a buyer, wanted to use Kankamusa, yes, you can. But let us do the contract first. We don't bring the gold to Kankamusa or we don't bring gold to DNGM. You need to send a letter of interest to purchase first. Now, you're going to say, well, Amina, send me the FCO. The full corporate offer is on this video. You subscribe my YouTube channel and click below. It says, show more. I want you to read first the full corporate offer. Because I don't have time to explain. The full corporate offer, I explain it just like an elementary. How much tax in Mali? 7%. How much tax in Conakry? 6.5. How much tax in Sierra Leone? 6.5. So you have to read first before you come to Wilhelmina for conference. Now, going back to this big appetite, I'm just sharing you that I just finished talking to this big appetite buyer. He wanted 40 tons in a month supply because Dubai is crying. He said, Dubai is short supply. They want more gold. And I said to this buyer from Dubai, this African continent produce gold, but one seller cannot cater one big quantity. Why? The seller have their own existing client, and you are my first clients and the new client of my seller. So I was talking to 4 sellers in Mali. One seller have 18 tons. One seller have 10 tons. 3 sellers, seller number 3 have 7 tons. Seller number 4 have 6 tons. In total of 41 tons. So you can have it. First come, first serve. Now this buyer from Dubai, he said, Wilhelmina, I want you to travel on May for us. You come first to Dubai. We'll meet in Dubai. I said, yeah, there's no issue. But I do charge my services. So this buyer said, Wilhelmina, we don't have any issue to pay you. I want you to come to our office and then you travel in advance before we travel. So meaning to say, I'm going to do the homework. But I already done my homework because he asked me to gather more sellers. Now in Conakry, my seller have 1.5 tons. So it's not enough for this big appetite. So I was talking to 2 sellers in total of 3. Okay? My 3 sellers have 5 tons available. Sierra Leone have 4.5 tons. There are 3 sellers. One is 2 tons and 1.5 tons and 2 tons. So this gold cannot wait for everyone because the seller have their own existing customer. So this big quantity is for the big appetite buyer. Now we can sell to you 20 kilos, 50 kilos, but I just want to share that I just have my big appetite. Now, Mr. Buyer, you can have this gold. Just tell me. Now, how are you able to get the gold, Mr. Buyer? First of all, because you've been roaming around, I want you to introduce yourself, that you are a buyer. Just send letter of interest to purchase coming from you. Attention to Wilhelmina. This is how you're gonna do. There, Wilhelmina, I watch your YouTube channel exactly the same as this big appetite from Dubai. There, Wilhelmina, I watch your YouTube channel and I went through your Facebook. I'm very interested to purchase maybe 1 ton or maybe 50 kilos. Right? You have to state that into your company letterhead. Wilhelmina, I'm searching for gold. I want to buy 22 carats plus 1 tons or 50 kilos or 100 kilos. The purity I'm looking for, Wilhelmina, is 96. That is fine. 97, Wilhelmina, that is fine. Yes, we have. And the mode of payment, Wilhelmina, is C.I.F. Don't come. Because Africa doesn't deal C.I.F. Don't come to Wilhelmina for conference. At least you gain knowledge. This is FOB. Don't come. You are just wasting my time. Because when you come, that you send me an LOI, I'm going to call you. How did you meet me? How did you found me? And when I read your LOI, I need to ask your business registration, a copy of your importation license, your passport copy, and the proof of fund that you have $1 million. Without that, don't come because I'm not interested. If you're dealing with so many blockchain or broker, don't come because we are now cutting all chain of broker. We are now on the global village. Internet, it's easy to find the supply. Don't come. If you're dealing with chain of joker broker, don't come. Instead, we prepare to deal directly to the buyer exactly the same with this big appetite. I'm just want to share with you. Now, Mr. Buyer, you're gonna say, well, Amina, I need 500 kilos. That's fine. Send me an LOI. Introduce yourself. Do not say, well, Amina, bring the gold to Dubai. We'll assay, then we'll pay final assay. No, don't come. You're wasting my time. Well, Amina, we need to buy, bring the gold to Oman. Don't come if you are just wasting my time. Just pay attention to this video. Right? Now you're gonna say, well, Amina, I want to deal with Brinks. Mali has no Brinks. They have MS. Just do this research, ms.com. That is not my job. I done my research because this big appetite asked me to help him if MS or Brinks can ship it to Dubai. And I said to the buyer from Dubai, I think there is Vanguard in Mali. So talk to KMR, I told this buyer. So that is not my job. Do not give me more job because I'm going to extra more money if you ask me to do the research. At least I've given you a little bit of leeway. We are now on the internet. You can search logistic in Mali. You can search logistic in Conakry. You can search logistic in Sierra Leone. Do not depend on Wilhelmina. Do not, because that is not my job. My seller have his own in-house shipping agent. So if you want to explore your own shipping agent, go for it. Do your research. All right? So I hope I explain it to you, Mr. Buyer. Now you're gonna say, well, Amina, how much is the tax? It's already here in front of you. I'm not going to explain further. The tax is already here on this video. Just subscribe on YouTube, on my YouTube, so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Yeah? And click show more. The full corporate offer will open to you. Take time and digest it properly. Do not rush. Don't be excited because this is $1 million. A minute you made a mistake, you're gonna be a loser. So do your planning. At least I've given you very extensive procedure. I put everything, how much the cost for assay, $100. How much the taxes. There is a tax in every country. So click below, you will see it. So I'm going to charge you, Mr. Buyer, to use me. Okay? I do charge my extra service to accompany you. Do not travel without me because seller in Africa is very hard to deal with. And learn how to grease. Meaning to say, learn a little bit of something under the table. If it's a big quantity. So I asked my seller, do you have a connection? Because this is tons of gold. When there is tons of gold, the government will raise their eyebrow. So that's why I'm explaining here, follow the golden rules of Africa. Follow the golden rules of particular country. Do not cut corner. Do not smuggle it because there is one company in Africa and the buyer has been questioned of gold laundering. You're gonna say, well, Amina, what is gold laundering? Do your research. Do the research. Money laundering and gold laundering, you can type it online. You will see what is the meaning of laundering. I'm not going to explain because that is not my job. My job, we have the gold, you pay for it. You travel, send me a copy of your business registration, importation license, passport copy, and the proof of fund that you are really a buyer. Don't be scared, Mr. Buyer, because your information would be intact. I am not going to spread your information to the third party. You are buying directly to my seller. I am your business facilitator. At the same time, I'm the seller's marketing consultant and mandate. So your information is safe. I'm no longer dealing with chain of black of joker broker. No more. If you are a buyer's agent, you charge your buyer because your buyer is using your services. Many years ago, I give everyone a privilege and opportunity, but they don't read, they don't comprehend, and they keep on running around and running around and running around. Today, 2023, I cut everyone. I prepare to deal directly to the buyer. We give the buyer a good deal. Now, you're going to see how much is the selling price. Whatever the world market, we give the buyer 8%. Okay, based on the world market. However, because I'm going to charge my services extra, I'm going to ask my seller to give a leeway. I might negotiate 10%. So I threw back the percentage because you are paying my extra. At the end of the day, you owe me a favor. You got my point, Mr. Buyer? At the end of the day, you're a winner. You don't pay double commission. You don't pay that joker broker. You don't. We are going to give you a good deal because my seller paying Wilhelmina, right, to market it. But when I travel with you, it's another scenario. I am charging my extra service. Yesterday, I met an Australian guy when I was on the shopping center. And he said, "Hey, Wilhelmina, I saw you on YouTube channel." I said, "Really? How did you know me?" "Oh, I am your follower." So he recognized me when I was with my friend having a cup of coffee. I said, "You know, Wilhelmina, you charge 20,000, it's very cheap. I do charge 50 grand for my services." I said, "Really? Oh, that's good." I didn't give any comment. And you know what he said? "Wilhelmina, you are the best. I learn out of you, Wilhelmina." So he's Australian from Brisbane. Can you imagine that? So my knowledge, everybody got my knowledge worth $1,000,000. I always use Philip from Germany. He said to me, "Wilhelmina, no, your knowledge is not worth $1,000,000. Your knowledge is worth $1,000,000,000. I was laughing to Philip. Philip is a good friend of mine. He's a professor in Conakry University, English professor. But anyway, so that's all I can say. I can say to you, every one of you, whoever you are, gold business is not for credit. This is cash business. Now, gold has many uses. I think I already explained that on previous video. This gold, I purchased this in Dubai Gold Shop. Where the gold coming from? From Africa. The raw materials coming from Africa. Dubai is the hub. So this is very expensive. This is 22 carats. The purity is 97.5 plus. Can you see the difference? And this one here is 18 carats. Okay? Can you see the difference? From 22 to 18 carats. Now you are buying raw materials. You must remember that it's not my job to explain to you the quantity on the carats. You have to do the research. I'm just showing you an example. Now, this $1 is made of raw materials. They smelt it. The refinery can smelt it into $1, and this is $2, $3. You know how much is this? Australian dollars is 4,000 Australian dollar. This Australian dollar, the value I converted it is 3,000. See? So if I don't have the money, I'll just go to the pawn shop, I sell it if I don't have the money. If I don't have $2, I wouldn't be able to buy milk. This $1 is very important. This $3, you can buy bread. Yeah? Or you can buy vegetable. So without this money, this is coming from raw materials. Where are they coming from? Africa. If you are really a wise trader, do the research about Mali. There was 50 tons of gold that's been confiscated previous year. And also recently, May 13, gold laundering from Conakry, Guinea. a big company from Dubai and dirty gold coming from Africa. Mhm. And they send it to Switzerland to refine it because Switzerland has no gold. They buy it from different part of the world. They buy raw materials and then refine it and then put the hallmark UBS 99.99 Switzerland. Where the gold coming from? Africa. So on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook, I have a video. I put that, I do the research and I put that on my Facebook. Dirty gold from Dubai and Switzerland. Those seller watching my video, I would like to advise you, do not deal on smuggling or cutting corner because one way or another at the end of the day you're gonna be caught. Even this big company because of the profit. There was a person, I don't want to mention the name of a person. The person approached me. He said, "Well, Amina, I have gold and hand carried by a diplomat. I have 5 tons of gold. Can you find me a buyer?" I refuse it. And I told this person, I don't deal smuggled gold. I don't. I don't want to be involved because the government can quote you, then you finish. 5 tons, I don't know how did it bring it to Australia by diplomat. Now, Mr. Buyer or Mr. Seller, please don't deal with laundering. I'm telling you, when I was in Africa and in Dubai, there's so many smugglers as well. So many. They want to cut corner. A minute that the buyer asking C.I.F, they don't have the money. Mr. Seller, do not offer C.I.F because you're gonna lose it. Now, I think I already explained to you my previous video. There was a seller from Conakry 2000, I think 4 years ago. His name is Mr. CDB. And my seller was telling me, "Well, Amina, do not believe on buyers in Dubai." I said, "Why?" One of our fellow seller went to Dubai and they flew together with Indian Pakistani. Indians are good and there's also Indian is bad because in this world there are two kinds of people, good and bad. So Mr. CDB flew to Dubai and he was being distracted, he was being entertained, and his drink, someone put poison on his drink. And without knowledge, because he was being distracted, he sipped the drink. Immediately, he passed out, he died. He lost his 45 kilos. And the family in Conakry lost the father, and the children lost the father, and the wife lost the husband. Another seller from Sierra Leone, and he saw me on my YouTube, and he brought 1 million worth of diamond in New York. So he was the first. He said to me, "This is the first time I landed into America. The diamond worth $1 million." He was being booked to a cheapest motel in New York. So he was being excited because he was being sponsored by the crook buyer on diamond. So after he relaxed in his room, someone knocked at his door. He said, "Where is the diamond?" The gun is on his head. He returned to Sierra Leone empty-handed. How do I know? He told me. I don't want to mention his name because I don't want him to be embarrassed. He said, "You can tell the world, Wilhelmina, but don't mention my name." He lost $1 million. Another seller, the Indian guy went to Sierra Leone and they brought 25 kilos to Dubai. Again, he was being distracted by a group of criminals. He was given a drinks and he was being booked in the hotel, and he drank the drinks. He passed out, he fell asleep. When he wake up, his 25 kilos disappear. Wow. In this gold business, there are so many crook buyer. So many sophisticated criminal buyer. And then he reported to Dubai authority the Indian has no business registration in Dubai. There is good Indian and there's also bad Indian. Why? Because of this business. Gold is very tricky. Gold, you can be killed, you can be kidnapped because of this. Yes, I went to a jewelry manufacturer in Dubai. I was being invited. He toured me around his jewelry manufacturing company. He has 600 employee. He is Indian, but he's very rich, and he married to a Spanish woman. And he asked me to leave my Australian passport at the security. Yes, and I was on the fourth floor, and the security called me. I called the owner of this factory that Mrs. Ford is on the way. The owner of the jewelry manufacturer waiting for me on the mouth of this elevator, and he took me to his laboratory. Cameras are everywhere. Camera, so that no one can steal. And the security guard on that floor, 5 security guard. Right, and you know what the owner of that jewelry manufacturer, he said, you are the first woman that we invite you to come to see. And Kaluti is next building. Kaluti refinery is next building. So I'm just showing you. So you're talking to a person, not an ordinary person. I have the knowledge. Knowledge worth $1 billion according to Philip. So Mr. Buyer, don't deal with so many chain of broker. You're gonna burn out, I'm telling you. But you know, when you use my services, when I accompany you, yes, I do charge my services. You spend money to make money, Mr. Buyer. Don't be thrifty. This buyer from Dubai, he needs 40 tons a month. He has no question. He said, Madam, I'm not asking for C.I.F. I'm not. We are paying bank to bank, to from my bank account to your seller's account. Yeah. Mr. Buyer, if you want 8 tons or 10 tons, yeah, you can have it. First come, first serve. Attention to Wilhelmina, because I'm going to scrutinize you. Before, I'm going to advise the seller, okay, we have the buyer here. Let's sell this 10 tons. Let's sell 1.5 tons. I will determine which seller I'm going to place you, Mr. Buyer. So don't be scared. I think I already explained it to you. I just want to share it that I have a big appetite buyer from Dubai asking me to talk to all of sellers in Africa. He wanted 100 tons for 12 months. So I told this buyer, one seller cannot cater. And he said to me, well, Amina, I don't mind paying your services. I want you to gather all the seller. I have done my research. 12 sellers, yes, 50.5 tons. One buyer, 12 contract to different sellers. Thank you very much, Mr. Buyer. You can have these tons if you want. Yes, I'm asking you how much you can afford. So, talk to Wilhelmina, listen to this video, read first the full corporate offer, then that is the time you talk to Wilhelmina. If you are not certain, don't come, because I don't want you to waste my time. I don't want to teach anymore. Read it, then when you're ready, you come back. All right, thank you very much.